Welcome, and or maybe welcome back. So if you have seen my content before, you'll know that a couple of months ago, I did a bit of an introductory series to Gates of Hell, starting with an overview of the game and what it is and kind of like how you need to set your expectations going in and what you will get out of it. And then I also did a UI overview tutorial, which you can just go watch on my channel. I'm not going to redo those things because nothing has really changed there. However, the latter part of that was that I ran through the old tutorial and tried to add a little bit more context or information where I could. So I'm going to try and do the same with the new ones. The devs, by this point in time, already quite a couple of months ago, introduced the new tutorials, and they seem a lot more intuitive and better than the old ones. So like I said, I just want to go through them and then see if there's any information or context that I can add. Let's do this. Just as a note again, I'm using a program in the background. It's just for context that if I do something and I don't specifically mention it, you can see what I did. So left click, you'll see is an orange circle, right click's blue, and yellow is the middle mouse button. And then if I press any buttons, you'll see that they pop up here in the right hand top corner.
Bereit!
Alright, let's run through what they just said. So the first things that they show here is obviously that the cover, you have different kinds of cover that your little infantry can hide in or hide behind. That's this little silhouette that they talk about. You'll see that every time that your unit can go into cover. And then they also mention the concealment in the bush. So cover and concealment is not the same thing. Cover is obviously protection, and then concealment is for vision. So in other words, hiding. The problem is that this little icon here is the icon that shows you that your unit is in cover. However, there's unfortunately no different icon for concealment. So sometimes you think your infantry might be protected, but they're actually just like in a bush. So once they're spotted, it doesn't matter. They're still going to get shot the same as if they were in the open. And then there's also no different indicator for the types of cover. So you'll see that all of them have the same little icon. You just have to use some logic and intuition, I suppose, to know which cover is which, where obviously don't hide your guys behind a fence, but this can get blown up quite easily, but it still provides a lot of good cover against small arms, and then things like trenches is good against incoming artillery and grenades and things like that. Like explosions don't affect them as much if they're in proper cover. Cool, I think that's it. And then on the next part that they said about the camera stuff, nothing spectacularly weird or new about that. If you've played an RTS before, you should know how the camera works. The only thing that is a bit different in this game compared to other RTSs that I've played before is the fact that on the minimap, you can scroll by or go wherever you need to be by right-clicking instead of left-clicking, and the only downside with that is that you cannot give orders through the minimap. So if I want this guy to go there, I can't give that order through the minimap. I have to actually go there and then give him the order.
Volltreffer! Was sollen wir tun? So muss das laufen. Schnell, standhaft! Da kommen noch mehr! Wir sind in der Überzahl! Wir sind in der Überzahl! Jetzt haben wir sie! Wir müssen das Gebiet verteidigen!
Okay, just a quick note here. So in the previous little video they showed how the direct control works. You can also activate it normally by pressing E, or you can press this button over here, and then this will also show you which kind of direct control is the classic control or the third person control. So the one thing that I just want to mention about it as well is that in this game, using the direct control is it's built into the core of how this game is played. So you don't have to do it, but it does add a lot to the gameplay, and as well as a fun little immersion when you're commanding your guys, but also on the front lines. And then you'll also see that they can be used for different things. So for example, I'm just going to slow this down here real quick. So for example, if you want to feel like you're in the action, this is obviously the best way to go. And like I said, then you can also see what your guy's line of sight is. However, the other one, the classic direct control, so if you press T and then E again, it gives you this top side down view. So this is much better if you want to first of all see distance to a target. You'll see now once he gets up. Come on, my guy. Cool. You can see this is 26 meters and you can't throw beyond that, where in third person it does not show that. Same with your gun. Here it doesn't show range, but in direct control it does show the range to the target. And that's the number, the white number, and then the secondary number is the one in the colored block is penetration, which I'm sure we'll get through later. That's in millimeters, so this gun will penetrate this log, for example, with a green indicator, and then this is going to be red. So if you shoot this tree, the bullet's not going to go through. Another thing I just want to mention as well with the direct control is that if you want to make sure that your guy retains proper cover and gets the stability for aiming the weapon, make sure that you put him in cover first in strategy, and make sure that he's in cover first and then only go into direct control. Otherwise, especially for the stabilization in terms of accuracy, you lose out on that if you run up to the wall in direct control and then aim. Okay, so normally it'd be like, oh, hide or whatever, but I'm just gonna run up to these guys because I'm a reckless person. Also, they're pretty occupied right now. Okay, so just quickly want to add to what they said in the video. So obviously there is different ways to throw the grenade. You can throw it in direct control, or you can use F1 and chuck it over there. They show in that little video about throwing smoke in front of the tank so that you get assaulted with the anti-tank grenade. However, there's a large misconception with smoke in this game. It doesn't quite work like it does in other games. It does block field of view, but effectively what it does is it creates concealment. So what that means is if it doesn't directly block line of sight for whatever unit that you throw the smoke in front. If there's any enemy spotting you from another angle, they'll still be able to shoot you through the smoke, including the ones that's like right in front of the smoke, which you would think would block the line of sight. So it's just something to keep in mind. And if that doesn't make sense, please go look at my older videos. I think it's under advanced tactics. There I do mention how smoke works, and with a little bit of an example. Another thing I wanted to mention is that they do show that if you press F1 multiple times, your guy will throw multiple grenades. If you have a whole squad selected, you can basically hit F1, 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 and it'll throw 4 guys will basically get out grenades and throw them. You can line them up like that. They're not going to throw, one guy's not going to throw all his grenades. They will actually work as a squad. And then they also show you that you can cook grenades. So that's just if you want it to explode quicker, to give your enemy less time to react, you can hold in, let it cook a bit, and then throw it.
Wann geht's endlich los? Jawohl! Wo soll das Ding hin? Keine Wirkung! Lade nach! Weitere Bewegung! Bereit! Begebe mich in Deckung! Die Befehle! Alles klar, Männer, wir machen! Scheiße, verdammt! Daneben! Position! Fast erwischt! Begebe mich in Deckung! Deckung! Ich werfe eine Granate! Hat mich fast erwischt! Deckung! Deckung! Schnell in Deckung! Haltet das Gebiet! Unten bleiben! Verdammt nochmal! Seid gefälligst unten! Hinter euch, Deckung! Da vorne! Haltet euch bereit!
So this kind of falls in line with what I just said about the smoke. The smoke works exactly the same way. If one unit from either side has vision on somebody who you think might be in cover, then everybody's got vision on them. I'll just quickly mention it here. I did speak about it in my UI overview, which if you haven't seen it, I definitely recommend giving that a watch as I go through all of the UI in a lot more detail. But just quickly, what I want to mention here is they do show how to equip and unequip things by left clicking, right clicking. Just what I want to say is that you'll see here, let me just quickly select the gun. Okay, oopsie. In the inventory, you'll see that they made it that anything that is equipped has got a blue background, and then, for example, now that I have this gun equipped as my main rifle, you'll see that the bullets have a green background. That's just to indicate that they are in fact compatible with the gun that I have. So they also showed it in video to attack the tank. You'll see when you hover over vehicles, they have different places that you can tell your little guy to attack. So here's tracks, here's a normal hull, here's the turret, and then here's the engine. Obviously, or you can do it manually, but for now let's just do that. And then he'll try and throw it on the right spot. Bloop. No engine for you guys. Oh, this guy just keeps on pummeling him. There we go. Where are you going? Nowhere. Oops. Whoops, apparently you are. Wow, that was bad. Alright, so I am glad that they actually show about the flamethrower as well, that you have to hit a tank on the engine with the flamethrower. That's the only way a flamethrower is effective. If you're just torching a tank, it's not going to do anything. And then with this, let me put it on slow motion. So I quickly mentioned it earlier, but here you'll see, whoopsie, excuse me, sorry. Okay, so in third person, direct control, you'll see that it shows the penetration on the vehicle itself. So it shows the 27 millimeters of penetration, and green means that it will penetrate that armor. However, it does not show the range to the target. So if you want to see the range, you have to go into direct mode. Then you'll see there's two indicators. The first number is the range to the target, and then the second one is the penetration.
erwischt! Begebe mich in Deckung!